They may have worked very hard on a career for 10, 20, 30 years, find themselves at 40 and 50 going, oh my gosh, I just lost everything that I've worked for. It's all I know. And you know what? I'm 40. I'm too old. I'm 50. I'm too old. I'm 60. I'm too old. First off, I'm going to use one of the most popular stories when it comes to being too old. Dear old Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. It wasn't until he was 60 that he struck out on his own with his perfect fried chicken recipe. And as the story goes, I think he tried 1,000 different times, knocked on 1,000 different doors and says, I have this amazing thing. Let's try this. You need this recipe. It wasn't until I think the 1,001 try that somebody said yes. And you know the rest of that story. In itself, the story is amazing, but what is truly amazing about that story is his age. He was 60 years old. Instead of looking to start something, a new business, and what he would have turned into a massive franchise and what we know as Kentucky Fried Chicken, he wasn't at home watching TV, smoking a pipe, and complaining about his age. He was out hustling harder than most 20, 30, and 40-year-olds. So age is a state of mind. Just like I covered in the last one, I'm too young, I'm too old is equally BS. And if you landed on this video, you might be going through that. You might be totally lost in life and disappointed, and maybe you're putting resumes out and you're not getting jobs, and you're starting to build up a story now that you're too old. And as we reach different ages, we start to use those as stories. Reaching 40, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm 40 already. 50, 60, I'm gonna retire right away. Not at 40, but you know what I mean. A lot of people at 40 or 50 or 60 are like, well, why bother? I just did my career. I'm tired. I don't know if I can put all that hustle and effort into it again. Don't forget that whatever's happening is a state of mind, an insecurity, pardon me, and a story that you're building up. And wherever that might have come from, just maybe you reached one of those ages, 40, 50, 60, and we're all conditioned to believe those big ones we're supposed to have a crisis, midlife crisis, and maybe we do, not necessarily bad. Or like I said, you're putting resumes out and you're not getting any jobs, and you start building a story that you're not getting called in for interviews or hired because you're too old. Can't train an old dog new tricks, right? That's garbage. In the age that we live in, it is the internet era. And people forget the playing field is completely even now. With the internet, you can pop up a website, use social media, advertise online, start an e-commerce website, whether you are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. The websites don't ask you your age when you start setting them up and then shut you down because they think you're too old. It's equal opportunity. And if you guys have heard of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, one of the greatest self-help books of all time, I heard this quote and I want to share it with you. Because if you're finding yourself in a spot where you're doubting your age, even if it's 40, I mean, you've done a chunk of a career and you might feel tired. You might feel like, oh, it's too late to start something. I've got kids, I'm busy. Some of us may need to start something if you lost your job or your company. Don't let age stand in your way. And I want to share a final powerful quote with you. I have it right in front of me, and it's from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And I think if you listen to this, it's going to change your mind about age and being too old. So Napoleon Hill wrote, Those who succeed in an outstanding way seldom do so before the age of 40. More often, they do not strike their real pace until they are well beyond the age of 50. And not too long ago, I was kind of dealing with some of the older age thing, which is silly. I know we all get our stories, but I do have the tools and the knowledge to work through this. And I found this. And think of it this way. We might not be 20, we might not be 25, 30, 35, whether we're 40 and up. The thing with age is it grants us experience, knowledge, and wisdom. No matter how much we belittle our past or what we know, we have walked some miles. We have learned some stuff. And as you get older, you have a maturity and a common sense. And couple that with the knowledge you've acquired, honestly, 40 and up is really just starting. You are really just getting started. I find looking back, 20 and 30, you're bumping around, you're trying new things, you're probably maybe hopping a little bit from jobs, trying to learn what you love in those 20s, 30s, and then hopefully you find something. And then you focus on maximizing a skill, acquiring a skill, becoming the best, whether it's a website designer, salesperson, graphic designer, marketing person. You're fine-tuning those skills. And then you get to whatever age, 40, 50, you're now likely really good at something. So now you have the meat and potatoes to take that and start something serious. There are so many tools out there. If you lost your job as a web designer, graphic designer, there's so many tools out there that you can start up a website, get out there on social media, become a freelancer, and start your own company and make equal to your wage and most likely more in no time. So you're not too old. You are in your prime, darling. Don't forget that. Age is a blessing. We're still alive, every one of us, whatever our age is, 40, 50, 60, and upwards. Age means experience, and experience is so sought out after in the marketplace. So just savor that. The age is your insecurity. And if that's what you're presenting or thinking, you're going to start building a story and coming to every situation like that. Flip it. Realize that your age is an asset. It's one of the most valuable things that you have. Experience. All that experience and wisdom you can bring to a new company or to start your own company. No matter what your age is, I want to challenge you that the best is yet to come and you are just getting started. Believe it.